the Twitch,
Okay.
I think. Find out.
I'm very excited to find out.
Oh,
I heard that.
I just got a buzz that we went live on stream.
You can do
Well,
that.
Yeah, so if you subscribe, if you have the Twitch app and you subscribe to people, then when they go live, it'll tell you. Which is both good and bad, because if you subscribe to a bunch of people just to like be their followers or whatever, then it buzzes all the time, even in the middle of the night when random people go live and you don't want to actually pay attention to their streams ever.
That's exciting.
Okay, I did a thing where apparently I can only see Ellie now.
Oh, okay, click on Ellie.
Yeah, click on my picture.
Okay, click on you again. That's
Yes.
not really very
Intuitive.
Okay.
All right, we're good. Everyone's good. I'm going to do an intro. Oh my god, it's so hot, you guys. I'm going to die.
Do you know how to do the intro?
Yeah, okay, I have actually been here for the last few podcasts, mister. So
It's been like, how many has it been? It's been 3 weeks, I think, or like 3 actual podcasts that I've missed.
I think so. So it's been a while. So yeah, I don't want none of your sass. All right, I will introduce the show. Hello and welcome to CAD Context Podcast, episode 55 for Wednesday, July 16th, 2014. Today we're going to talk about what we bought in the summer Steam sale. We're going to talk about raiders and their importance in MMOs, because that's kind of a hot topic right now. We have a couple of listener questions. But first, I have a couple of co-hosts here today. It's Aralate and Alindriel, is that right? Hey, Ellie, we haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, how's it going? I have been on vacation and on work trips, and I don't know. Then there was a clip show, so hooray, I'm back.
Welcome back. Are you settled down? You're going to be in one place for a while?
For a couple weeks, yeah. After that, I'm going, I don't know, August is messy, so we'll have to arrange stuff.
More clip shows. It's the B line of clips next.
Yeah, I can call in from odd locations if I need to. It's fine.
I can talk more about eagle noises.
Yeah, thanks. I've always wanted a remote correspondent. Arrowlade is here with us as well. Hey, Arrow. I think you might have had a busy weekend.
Just a little. I have no idea what day it is or where I'm living other than it's new. So.
Or where any of your stuff is.
Yeah, actually, I spent 4 hours on Thursday trying to find my hairbrush. That was fun. And I cracked the movers up because the power went out. We moved Wednesday morning, and we had a terrible storm Tuesday night, and the power went out while we were packing. So the box that I packed when it was dark was labeled "Arrow shit, fuck it." And the movers thought that was the best thing they had ever seen. And they asked me what room to put that box in, and I said, "Didn't you read the box? It says fuck it. I don't give a shit. I don't know what's in there. It was dark."
That's good. It goes in the fuck it room. Come on.
It does. I'm currently sitting
room
in the
to
fuck it room, surrounded by fuck it boxes.
That sounds like moving to me. Well, I'm glad you could make it today. Yeah, as you guys mentioned last episode, we had a clip show in which I pulled a bunch of good clips from the past, and it seems like people enjoyed it. Although we actually had one fellow who, that was the first episode of our podcast he ever listened to, and he's like, I feel like I might have been missing something from these clips, and yeah, it's probably just not the same.
That thing you were missing was context, thus the title of the podcast.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Way to bring it around.
I'm serious. The vodka, man.
It's making her happy. Okay, so today we are talking about a number of things. Let's start off by talking about the Steam sale. It was Steam's summer sale, the big one a couple weeks ago. Ellie, did you buy anything in the Steam sale?
I did. I'm trying to find what I bought because I don't remember, because that's what happens in Steam sales. You click on the button. Plus, I was on vacation or like out of town for a bunch of it, so I like was buying things from my phone, and some of it worked and some of it didn't. I know I bought Wolfenstein, the new Wolfenstein game.
Why would you spend money on that game?
I bought it and then I played it this week. which is better than a lot of things that I've spent money on Steam sales.
That's true.
I think I also bought Luftrausers because apparently I want to like do weird German yelling about names. Nope, it's not in my library. I don't know. I thought I bought that game. I guess not. I intended to.
Well, there's one for the next Steam sale.
Yeah. So I don't know. I bought a couple of games, but how about you? Did you buy anything?
I bought a ton of stuff. There wasn't, like, I was kind of bummed out about the sale this year, and maybe you guys can tell me if you agree, but it seems like it's the same stuff over and over again on the front page, and it's things that I've seen for, like, we're talking, like, 3 years of sales now, and while I understand that, you know, they have to kind of put the good stuff in the front, you really have to go digging now to find the good games, I think. I found it kind of frustrating this year, the Steam sale. But I did, the last day of the sale, I just took $20. And I'm just like, I'm buying indies. So I ended up buying like 5 indies just by digging through the archives in the last day. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, you know, I've had better experience with flash sales in the last like 6 Steam sales maybe than front page sales. The problem is the front page sales, a lot of them are like, I don't know, I intended to buy South Park this time, and it went down to $40, and then I was like, $40? No, I'll wait till you're 10. So that's kind of the problem I have with Steam sales, is I've just sort of gotten saturated with games, and price sensitivity has, or my feeling on what a good price is has totally changed, so...
Right, because I think Tomb Raider got down to $5.
Did you buy it for $5? Because it was totally worth $5.
I bought it for $5, and that is the kind of price that will make me actually buy a game on the front page. But you know, you look at like
Skyrim. Have you played it yet?
No, and I will probably never play it. But I like to do my part for the ladies, so I bought Tomb Raider. But you like Skyrim, like stop putting Skyrim on the front page, okay? Is there anyone in the world who does not? I mean, I own Skyrim and I don't even like it.
I don't own Skyrim.
I don't own Skyrim either, but that's because if ever I wanted to play it, Mr. Arrow owns it.
I can't remember. Maybe I own it in PlayStation. I don't know. It might have come as part of PS Plus at some point.
Right, but you're not like jonesing to pick up a copy of Skyrim. I don't. There just seem to be you see a lot of the same titles over and over.
Yeah, that's actually a huge part of the problem. It is like, I don't know. Maybe we're like, I don't know. Is the summer sale like the time when games don't get released? I mean, it kind of is. The Christmas sale is like the best one for new games, but then the games aren't deeply discounted because they're new. Maybe like the previous year's games at the following Christmas sale. I don't really know. Front page, I haven't really tracked it. So,
did you buy any games, Arrow, in the sale?
I did. I'm actually skimming through my Steam list to remember which of the things I bought. Basically, if it was under $5 and it looked cool, I totally bought it. The only thing I got that was more than $5 was the Masterpiece remaster of Myst, because I have hilariously never played Myst.
Ooh.
Did it start on... Wait, what?
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I had like an XT with a 10 meg hard drive until I was a sophomore in college. So I missed the entire Myst era. I could never play it. I think the only Myst game I've ever played was... Nope, don't remember. No idea. Never played a Myst game. So
Riven,
I was...
did you play Riven? Wasn't that the second one? Riven?
Yeah, there was... No,
Yeah.
There was also Myst 2, I believe.
Yeah, never played him. So I was excited to see that there was a remaster, and I didn't have to try and GOG that.
And, yeah.
So, but I haven't had a chance to play it yet because I still don't have a desk or a chair. So.
I did get Transistor. I refused to buy it at $20 because I'm weird, but it dropped down to $15 during the sale, so I picked that up. So that's cool.
When did the sale start?
It's like the 21st-ish, and it went to the 30th.
Okay, then I found another game I bought.
Are you scrolling through your web receipts?
I totally am, yeah.
And what is this game?
Because I bought Metro Last Light, but that was on June 1st. I bought the like complete series because I've been itching to play those randomly. I don't really know why. but I did. I bought Ascendant, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. I heard about it on a podcast, and it seemed cool, and I don't really remember what kind of game it is off the top of my head. I just remember that it was $5, and somebody told me to buy it, so I did. Thanks,
All
podcast. Whatever podcast you were.
Nice.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I will say once I did some digging, I managed to get a couple of nice indie titles. Cook Serve Delicious, which I've been waiting for a while for it to be on sale to play. Now I can't remember any of the games I bought. System Shock 2, which is not indie, but it's old, so it's kind of in the same boat of waiting for
bought
things.
System Shock 2.
Yeah, I bought System Shock 2. It was on sale for like
That is a
$2.
game that you will never play.
I have played the first 20 minutes, I'll have you know.
And you didn't get frustrated by all of the sneaking?
Oh, is there sneaking? Oh, I hate games with sneaking.
That's where we're going with that.
No. Okay, well, pass. Pass. That's
You also,
$2
how
I'll
do you
never get
feel?
back.
How do you feel about games like Fallout and Skyrim?
I don't know. I feel
Yeah,
like I should like them, so I make myself play them every so often. I did finally pare down, like I went through my wish list, and I'm like, okay, like Final Fantasy VIII. Am I really ever going to sit down and play Final Fantasy VIII? I'm not, so take it off the wish list. Or Octodad, which looks charming and amazing, but I hate those games, that kind of, Butterfingers, co-op style, look at me, I accidentally knocked everything off the shelf games. So I'm like, I'm not ever going to play it. Stop pretending that you're going to be a cool dude who plays Octodad, because I'm not. So just take it off the list.
I should do that.
8 has a
wish
really
list.
great soundtrack. I highly recommend it.
Wait, what
No
does?
insult to 8. No insult to Final Fantasy 8. It's just, I just don't.
Oh, Final Fantasy 8.
No, you're not
You
a
just said
jerk.
8. I was like, what
You
the
can't.
hell are we talking about? Are we talking about Octodad? 'Cause, like, he has 8
I'm sure
arms.
Octodad has a good soundtrack too.
No, Final Fantasy, I'm sure it's
What,
good.
I'll hook you up with the soundtrack in the 30-second version when I can get back in IRC,
Perfect.
and then you'll be good.
Yeah, because I'm just never going to play through Final Fantasy 8. I'm just not.
Yeah, no, that's true. I've actually decided that about a lot of RPGs is like, as much as and open world games, as much as I really want to play them, like, am I really going to spend 40 hours playing that? I don't know. I'm like having this problem starting games right now, right? Like, just knowing what to start and when to start it is really hard.
I look things up and how long to beat before I start them, so I kind of have an expectation of what chunk of time this is going to take.
Yeah, I do that too, and then I see the games that are like 40 hours, and I'm like, holy shit, 40 hours. And then I don't start them, and it's silly because I probably play 40 hours of games in a week, right? Like, nobody tells me that about an MMO, and I keep playing those.
Right, yeah, but maybe when you just see it on the page and it's like 40 hours, holy butts. I understand. I too am a little intimidated by the 40-hour games. I have a few of those that I've thought of starting and I haven't, because the same thing. I look at that and I'm like, oh, that's a lot of time. Do I really want to start being invested in something that takes that long? And then I play 40 hours of WildStar. So.
Yeah, I'm the sweet spot for games that will definitely get me to play it on that is like 8 to 12, or less, I guess. But like, if I'm buying some sort of like AAA game and it's like a 15-hour game, then like I'm probably way more likely to buy it or to play it, to actually start and play it than a 40-hour right now. And that's really kind of sad because I remember when I used to play 40-hour games. That was fun.
Well, too, with the Steam stuff, you're paying less for games, or we all expect to pay less for our games. So maybe if you're only spending $5 on a game, 12 hours is suddenly a lot of content for $5. Where if you're dropping $60, then you're gonna want.
But I still buy games on consoles.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, there's no Steam sale for consoles.
No, there isn't. You gotta like know somebody who works at the place.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. So, did you guys generally feel like you got what you wanted out of the Steam sale?
I did. Pretty sure. Honestly, I haven't had enough time to sit down and actually play anything. ever. But I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks everything will be settled down and I can get back into doing stuff. Like my game playing for the last 3 weeks has been logging into WildStar to open my boombox.
That's way more than me for WildStar.
That's valid. Yeah, I'm planning on moving, and I'll be living with another gamer in a few months. And Eric, you talk all the time about doing the couch console gaming, and I'm really looking forward to getting into that.
It's so fun.
Like a family activity.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got backseat gaming going on, like you argue about which, say, dialogue choice in Mass Effect you're going to pick. It's the best. Because then you just club them over the couch cushion and make your own choice. Reasons why Garrus Vicarian romance. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no, we had a throwdown about dialogue options in Deus Ex Human Revolution, and I was right. So
whoever controls the controller controls the things that get said.
Well, I don't think that's true.
No, it's a cooperative experience.
Yep.
Unless he's wrong. And with Liara, he's wrong.
I like that. I like that attitude. All right, well, let's move on to kind of our big topic. And it hadn't even occurred to me that we should talk about this. I did Game On, the other podcast, earlier today, and it turned out to be a really good conversation. I'm like, this is something we can fight about on Cat Context. So
now watch, we're all going to agree. Well, that doesn't really we won't fight. So
yeah.
We often fight while agreeing. I don't know if anybody listened to the clip show, but I feel like we've done that several times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, that was a specific request, actually. Someone was like, can you get that time you were fighting about Warcraft, and it turns out that you all agreed at the end? And I'm like, I think that's every podcast. But, so this in particular is referencing a rather controversial statement made by a LotRO community manager earlier this week. On their official forums, he said, it's sort of in response to a lot of talk, because LotRO has been kind of going, they're having some funding problems and they're kind of cutting back on their development, and people were complaining about lack of development on raids lately. And he said that basically raiders are 4% of the population in LotRO, and they are by far the most vocal group on the forums. And it was a bit of a mic drop moment. He was just like, deal with it. And it's caused a big thing in the blogosphere and MMO news sites, and people have sort of been extrapolating this to mean raiders in all games, and basically the good old chestnut of casual versus hardcore, and we all get to fight about that. So I don't know, Ellie, do you think raiders get too much attention from MMO developers?
Sure. Compared to what, like on what scale? That's the problem, right? Like when I'm raiding, I definitely don't feel that way, and when I'm not raiding, I kind of feel that way. Don't shake your head at me. I saw that.
Reasons why I don't have a camera.
I can't get the video on Lior fast enough when she's randomly shaking her head at something I'm saying. The first thing is I didn't understand how this was a controversial statement.
That was my problem too. Is this actually news to people?
We've known that's been the conventional wisdom about WoW for the last 6
Forever.
years. Well, at least since Burning Crusade, right? They made points of saying that only 1% of people saw Nax and stuff like that. So I really understand what the deal is. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think partially he was just saying it in a rather sassy manner for our community manager, but also
oh no, not the sass.
Well, people are a little touchy about sass with their community managers. But I think, just the whole casual versus hardcore, and, raiders are stupid and demand fancy things, and casuals are stupid and they demand fancy things. And
I mean, I think it's hard because as outsiders, we don't really have a good understanding of just how much time and effort goes into building a raid versus building housing or building a dungeon, or I don't know what systems are aimed at non-raiders, since I guess the main thing that I think of as a not real raider anymore is that raiders constantly do get new content, real full new content, whole whole patches basically devoted to them, right? And as a non-raider, occasionally we get a dungeon or occasionally we get some daily quests or whatever, but what we don't ever get is like a whole new system or a whole, like, just a massive patch dedicated to us, not consistently. And I think that that's something that's feels disproportionately aimed at the raid community. I don't know if that's a problem or not, but I definitely think that it's true.
Arrow, do you think that raiders or sort of high-end content consumers, do they provide, like people say that it's an aspirational source for other players. So you look at them, you go, wow, I really want to raid one day.
I can only really speak to my personal experience, which is that playing Warcraft, all of the story was in raids at that point, in vanilla. So the only way to see the story, like anything that happened in Blackwing Lair, you had to raid. There was no other way to get it. And then Warcraft changed all that with things like looking for raid and cross-realm everything, that it's not, the story's not there anymore, and anyone can get the gear. It's not like I'm, sitting in Ironforge watching the top server guild carrying benediction and think, oh, I'm going to reroll a priest because that looks badass. Maybe it's that way on other games still, but I think the market has changed so drastically that that's not as much of a big deal anymore, especially since every game now has to come out with some kind of armor customization system. So you don't see, every high-end priest wearing exactly the same thing. Or insert class X, whatever.
Yeah, although I think with the decline of exclusive rating like that, then that's part of the thing too, right? Like, I don't know. I definitely got into rating because I spent an expansion and a half or 2 expansion like reading about people rating and looking at people who are rating and thinking that what they were doing was pretty cool and that I wanted to be a part of that. So I definitely think that that kind of gameplay or that kind of social dynamic existed, at least. I don't know if it still exists, for a lot of the reasons that you just said, but I definitely think it's there's something to it for sure. And, on top of that, I think that a lot of communities are based around rating. I don't know. Again, it's hard because of, especially in WoW, it's like the flex and the looking for a raid have both sort of lowered the need to be in a stable guild, and like you don't need to go through your guild to do everything like you did early on in WoW, and that's a big part of the reason that I played WoW for so long. And guilds wouldn't have really existed if there hadn't been content to aspire to that you needed 20, 30, or 40 people to do, which is hard as opposed in like a game like WildStar. I think WildStar's, at least what I've been reading out of the super high-end rating community, has been sort of mixed because they just don't have the people, and it's really hard to set that up.
Yeah, from my personal experience, I definitely found that aspirational, like not necessarily even raids, but I remember being a little, lobby priest, and there was a priest character who would always hang around Ironforge in full devout, and I'd be like, oh, I want that one day. I want to be that priest in full devout.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you see that, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna run all this stuff all the time. So definitely, it motivated me to get more into the game. Would it have otherwise, was it totally essential? I'm not sure, but it definitely was part of the motivation that got me into looking at dungeons and, by extension, looking at raids. I think this is also, Ellie, do you think that raiders, this is kind of like, it's hard for us to say being players, but would your instincts tell you that raiders are more reliable? Like, not reliable, but they stick with a game longer? Like, do you think that has something to do with it?
Depends on the game. I think in a game that's sort of end game focused, like WoW or WildStar, absolutely. I think one of the things I was going to say about Lord of the Rings is that for me, Lord of the Rings has always sort of held the sort of casual, long-term role-playing whatever niche, and I I don't think that the long-term people are necessarily the raiders in Lord of the Rings. I can't say because I've only been involved in that game super casually a few different times, and then gone on to do other things. Um, but I do think that stickiness is important, and you kind of have to spend time and energy getting people to be sticky in your game. I don't know whether that has to be raiders or not. I think part of it is that people can't figure out what else is sticky, and that's a big problem. Like nobody has been able to innovate in a way that's not WoW, honestly, and that's frustrating as a player.
Yeah, I'll admit the first thing I thought when I read this quote was, people raid in LotRO?
Yeah. Apparently people still raid in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's another one I don't think of as a Raiders game.
But so I mean, there's systems like WildStar has systems like housing, right? Like their housing is pretty involved. Obviously, both of you guys are into that.
Arrow's not just into it.
Right, but like that's sort of almost a primary reason to play that game. And then once you've invested 20 or 30 or 40 hours like tweaking your house or building a roller coaster in your in your plot, you're going to be a lot less likely to bail, right? I would think. So, I mean, I think there are other ways to get that same kind of stickiness. I think social matters a lot also. But I don't know. I don't think it has to be rating. I just think that like kind of people accept that rating is the way to make people stick around your game forever, because it kind of has been the way to make people stick around your game forever. I mean, we haven't really had a game go for 6 or 7 or 8 years on the back of people who aren't sort of heavily invested. WoW has rating. Eve has the whatever null sec,
whatever they do,
whatever you call the null sec corporations, right? I mean, like whatever they do. And I think actually Lord of the Rings is the closest other thing, and Lord of the Rings is like a casual game. So I actually think it's good if they don't spend as much time. It's nice to have games that appeal to different types of players or different play styles. Even just for you or for me, I think like not every day do I want to like play hardcore raiding game now.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree. I think that the key to forming social bonds is shared experiences. And raiding is a really easy way to get those shared experiences, because you're all together, you're in a big room, you're overcoming a challenge, bam, shared experience. It could also be, everyone's gathered in the center square watching a live music gig like they do in Lord of the Rings. That's also a shared experience, and that's how you create those social bonds. And you're right, I think that developers thus far have not been good at coming up with non-rating alternatives, because I don't think the alternative is just everyone just play in their own bubble. You need to come up with those shared experiences, and there hasn't been a lot of alternatives to rating put forward so far.
Yeah, I mean, they've tried to force PvP in a couple of games, and that kind of goes and kind of doesn't. But part of the problem with PvP, especially like Battleground or Arena-style PvP, is that it's so short and not sort of ongoing. And, you have to show up and play with your team, but your team is only 5 or 10 people at the most. It's not 40 or 50, so it's harder to build a group, I think, and more susceptible to one of your 5 people leaving.
Right, exactly. Okay, I think that's it. No one else is saying anything.
Did I mention vodka?
I was gonna say I think Arrow passed out in her pillow for it over there. I don't know what's going on.
I wish I had a pillow for it. I've got shitty boxes full of books I haven't seen in years.
Please, because usually I'm the one who's rendered stupid by vodka at this point. So.
Well, I don't really know what to say about this. I mean, yes, people whine when the games don't cater directly to them. I don't understand why this is news and has become a brouhaha everywhere.
Yeah, I'm out of touch with the blogging community over the last couple of weeks because it's been crazy, and I know now. See, oh damn it! See, I missed you shaking your head again. But
I'm shaking my head all the time. Ha ha.
Oh boy.
yeah, I don't know. I just didn't even realize this was a thing, and I read the.
Well, come on. Casual versus hardcore is always a thing, and any chance that casual players get to, like, I don't know, poke hardcore players, they're going to take it. And, you know, blah, blah, hardcores are elitist. You know what the biggest elitists I've ever met are? It's frickin' casual players. They're the biggest elitists.
Oh, see, now you're just trying to start some
Bam!
shit.
I'm dropping some truth bombs here.
I actually don't think that's true. I think the
most elitist people have ever been to you were casual players.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
That was hilarious. But you still see that now. Like, I so rarely see someone, like, who's a serious raider actually being like, you know, no, you suck. I see so many people who are casual players being like, no, make the game, cater to me, blah, blah, blah. Like,
you don't hang out on the right places on the internet, then.
Well, clearly, or maybe I am hanging out in the right places on the internet.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if you hang out in the forums and places where high-end raiders happen to be, then you're more likely to see that. Although I think a lot of that kind of burned itself out when we were all, 10 years younger and, like, angry. There probably are people, but I think they've all moved to LOL or Dota or something now. I don't know.
There's people hardcore playing the crap out of Hearthstone.
Or Hearthstone forums.
That's very true. That's very true. But usually, I mean, those guys who are usually like, I don't know, you're a scrub or whatever, they're usually actually not that good and not that serious about the game.
I think there's a lot of people who are super serious, but they aren't very good.
Okay, well, maybe that's it. They're super serious, but they're not very good. They're not actually, top 10 world whatever. You know?
So the worst guilds that I've ever been a part of or interacted with are the ones that are like second or third on a server or first on like a server that's like 200th. Like, when the server list says there's 140 guilds and you're like server is like 100 and you're like the big shit on that server, that's like when people start talking shit to other people. And I've been on a bunch of those servers over various expansions, and those people like need to just shut the fuck up and figure out what they're doing, right? Because like that's the problem, not people who are actually like off, because other people are too busy getting shit done, or like playing 4 or 8 or 12 hours a week and then going and do something else. I mean, like I don't know. That's the biggest thing for me.
I agree that's the crowd that does the most crap talking, is, the mediocre with illusions of grandeur. Yeah. And hey, there's nothing wrong with not being great at playing a game. I'm not that good at Hearthstone, but I'm also not telling people that they're casual scrubs.
Or the people who are putting in like 24-hour rating weeks now still, and aren't top 10 in the world. Like.
What are you doing? What are you doing with, like, seriously? Whereas the top 10 guilds are usually, well-oiled machines that are doing like 10 hours a week of bing, bang, boom.
I mean, some of them do put in more at certain times, but not consistently.
Honestly, I think the top 10 guilds don't have time to talk shit. They're too busy poop socking.
Yeah, no, I think that's probably totally true. So, yeah, I mean, so that's the part that I always push back against is, hardcores ran over my dog, and the hardcores are too busy to run over your dog. It was just some smart-mouthed kid.
Yeah, probably. It's a dude bro. That's...
Right. It's the equivalent of a dude bro. Yeah, exactly. Okay. that's all we have for this one too. Okay, you guys have to hang on.
We have some good transitions. We need some better transitions. This is like.
Oh god, I'm dying here, you guys. I'm freaking dying. Oh my god, I was like, I'm just gonna be stoic. I'm just gonna take it, but I can't. I can't take it. I'm sorry, audio fidelity. Okay, I'm back now.
I also don't know what happened to the Twitch stream because we have the wrong title and have had the wrong title this whole time, even though I specifically changed it. So whatever.
Do they think we're WildStar?
They think that we're in Skullcano and playing WildStar, even though I explicitly changed it to Cat Context 55 and podcast.
Look, if you tuned in for Skullcano, I'm sorry. Now we killed the boss. That's the end. We killed the boss. I'll skip right to it. Skullcano was really fun too, you guys.
I'm sure it was.
It was. It was really fun. The last boss has like a rotating laser thing.
I'm level 19. I have a treehouse.
Wow.
What was that?
That I have like.
Was there a demon coming to eat your soul?
Yeah, I don't even know what the deal is. They have like a lot of people with special exhausts on my street.
Yeah, level 19. I was feeling bad because I was only level 42.
42, Jesus.
No, see, the key to leveling, Ellie, is you have to play.
Yeah, okay, so I wanted to talk about that, and I know that it's not on the list. It's not on the list. So I was playing a lot and having a really good time with WildStar, and then I went on vacation, and then I had a couple busy weeks, and it's been like 2.5 or 3 weeks, and I like literally don't want to log into WildStar. I mean, I want to log into WildStar, but I can't bring myself to do it, or to any MMO, honestly, and I don't understand what the deal is. I think I'm out of the habit.
Are you just a freak?
I don't know. Like that's what I was trying to ask. Is like, is this a problem that you guys run into where like you get in kind of out of the habit almost of playing MMOs in particular? Because it's not like I haven't been playing games because I've played a bunch of games. I've finished 2 games this week, unlike any of you.
Did you move 300 miles with 2 tiny children?
Unlike Leor.
Whatever, I could have moved. I could have moved the tiny children. They would have had to have been someone else's children. I could have done it. You don't know.
And now you're in prison.
Yeah. No, I just mean like finding it really hard to get back into the swing of it. And the part of the problem is that like MMOs just take all your time.
Yeah, I've totally experienced that before in the past. For what it's worth, I found that when you log back on, it comes back really fast. You're like, oh yeah, I like doing this. This is fun. Why wasn't I logging on before? This is a good way to chill out in the evenings. But I sort of understand because WildStar's the first time I've been like really into an MMO in a while, and I forgot how much time being really into an MMO can take if you give it that time. And it can be a lot of time, and I don't really necessarily want to spend that time, so this has been kind of a journey of time management for me. But I've totally, really, you just got to log back on. I mean, not like you have to log back on, but if you want to, when you do it, it does... you're like, oh yeah, right. I sort of got out of the habit, but right, this is entertaining. I forgot about that.
I think the other half of it is that like now the thing that I thought was gonna happen has happened, and everybody's like level 40 and I'm level 20, and so.
Hello. Right here.
He's level 19.
Okay, but like.
You're still ahead of Arrow.
So Arrow and I and maybe Talon can play together occasionally. Once Arrow's move is done and once my schedule calms down or whatever. But, like, the problem is that I've sort of lost the group of people, right? So now I have to sit and I log in and I will probably end up power leveling, and that's, like, way less fun than just dicking around and kind of leveling in the background.
Why do you have to power level?
Because I want to, like, participate in things like going to Skullcano.
If you wanted to participate in that stuff, then you would have logged on for the last 2 weeks. Seriously.
Not true. Like, I went away and I was level 20, and then I came back and everybody was like 33 or something.
Look, you made her sigh. You made
Yeah.
Arrow sigh. Dramatically.
Yeah, basically, I'm a chopped liver shit heap, is what you're saying.
Snaps.
So you can't play with the cool kids. So you don't want to play anymore. You could totally play with the loser lamoids at the nerd table, but you're not going to have a part of that.
Wow, you got served. I didn't even see that coming. That was unexpected.
I got nothing. I would happily play with you, Arrow, but
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Yeah,
You're too
no.
busy building your
The
house.
moment is gone. I'll play with Talon, but fuck you.
Okay.
Look, that's a solid decision. No, but what I'm saying is, like you said, you've been reticent to log on for the last little while when you've had time, and you haven't done it, which is totally cool. But to choose to not log on and then be like, everyone's leveling faster than me, it seems
No.
you're stabbing yourself in the face on that one.
I am, but part of the reason that I'm reticent to log on is because I already felt that way. We've had this discussion where I like to be part of the zeitgeist, and in an MMO, I think it's like especially true that.
Do you have to go see movies at the midnight show on opening weekend?
No, but my enjoyment of a movie is personal, and part of the enjoyment of an MMO is communal.
Ah, okay.
Kind of. I don't know.
You're still an asshole who's not invited to the Breakfast Club.
That's fair.
There's tons of people who are still leveling at all levels, though, and even if I'm 42, thanks to the miracle of down leveling, I can still do that. But if you prioritize being in the first group to be in an instance, then you gotta log on the game. That's just the end of the story.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So to be like, I don't know, that's just the way it works.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it sucks for me, and is a contributing factor. It's not anybody's fault except for my own for not leveling up and being involved. I'm not trying to blame anybody else other than saying that it's part of the contributing factors.
Right, but there's no blame because it's not like you're a bad person for not logging on to WildStar. You've just been busy, which is that's cool. It's good. It's good to be busy.
No, being busy sucks balls.
Come on! I was giving you a whole thing out there. You're a better person for being busy.
No, that's not true. Plus, I played Wolfenstein, which is totally not making me a better person.
That's true. That is not helping. That is not, okay. We have a question. We have a question from audience listener member. Telwyn, who is a good fan of the podcast and has written lovely things about us. Thank you, Telwyn. Asked, looking back at the shows, do you think your approach to MMORPGs or your taste in the same has changed? And I am enjoying Drunk Arrow, so let's throw this over to her first.
Okay, wait, I'm sorry, smaller words. My approach to MMOs have changed?
Yes, since you started doing the podcast, has your approach to MMOs changed?
Yes, but it doesn't really have anything to do with the podcast so much as what is on your fan?
This is a Pixel Junk fan from PAX.
Okay. That's pretty awesome. Not gonna say it's not.
Yeah, for Nom Nom Galaxy. Yeah.
Anyway,
yes.
It's more I have kids than I know I have to talk about humiliating things on the podcast. We all used to be hardcore raiders. That's kind of how we met. So, and none of us do now. I don't know.
Nope.
I need more in a game than raids. I need an MMO for community with grown-ups because, oh my god, talking to a toddler every minute of every day will kill me. But I also need it to be playable in, 20, 30-minute bursts, which is why before I had to pack up my desk, I was having so much fun with WildStar because if I didn't have time to level, I could still go work on my treehouse. And, you don't have to worry about finding a safe place when you just teleport back to your house.
How are you finding money in that situation?
Since you can legally buy money, I'm not having trouble with that at all.
Sweet.
Yeah. I bought a cred and I sold it. And so now I have, 4 platinum.
And that's legit. That's a great use of cred, the whole cred system, frankly. That is something that I didn't think about when they mentioned that they were doing this system. And I think that's totally valid for people who don't, are not interested at this time in going out and doing the stuff to make money. They just want to build their house, and houses are cool, so rock on.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, time is precious, money not necessarily so much at this point, except, moving has depleted everything. Oh my god, the house is twice as big. We have to buy furniture.
Oh man, yeah, I've gone through that. That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, but it sucks.
On the one hand, we have a dining room. Oh my god, an actual dining room. On the other hand, we didn't have a table.
All right.
What's the point?
Or you had a cafe table or something, right?
In fact, we had a little island that had a flip-up side. That wasn't doing any good.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
Yeah, no.
How about you, Ellie? Has your approach to MMORPGs changed in the last year and a half?
Kinda.
Because you were still raiding in WoW, I think, when you started on the podcast.
Was I? I don't think I was. I think I had just stopped raiding in WoW or something. I don't know. I'm a lot less bitter about it now. And
less
actually
bitter?
about that specific situation.
Oh,
As
okay.
a general rule. Yeah, I think I feel a lot more like Arrow. I want to play the games to participate in the community as much as I want to play the games to do really well. That said, I definitely find myself still sort of optimizing rotations and learning shit. I don't go out seeking external tools and rotation, tell me my rotation and talent websites as much anymore. But I definitely within the confines of my character as I've chosen to play it, I definitely still want to do well. I think that's just sort of my approach to games in general, or at least this genre. There's lots of games where I'm willing to just pick whatever sounds fun and not worry about it. But most of those are sort of single player where it doesn't actually impact other people. I don't know. My approach to MMOs, man, that's a really big topic. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm more willing to try things now, I guess.
Yeah.
I will try most MMOs that come out, whereas before I was a lot more, I'm going to pick an MMO and play it and focus.
Yeah, I used to be a lot more unforgiving hardcore in my attitudes. Even though our guild was never really seriously hardcore, we were always we called it casual core because we weren't, serious business. But
it was the old Raiders' home.
Yeah, it was the old Raiders' home. But I think I'm a little more understanding of. I have an appreciation of the diversity in a marketplace. Once you kind of got past WoW and realized that there is not going to be one monolith MMO anymore. There's going to be a bunch of different MMOs, so why shouldn't they all appeal to different audiences? And I think this is a stage that most gamers should get to if they haven't already. I think most people have, where you're just hey, diversity in the marketplace, that's good, and a game for everybody, and not all games have to appeal to me. And I think that is sort of a new thing. Frank, but there being a whole bunch of different MMOs is kind of still a relatively new thing. The past 5 years or so. Before that, there was always just kind of an MMO. So I think we've all had to kind of.
I mean, yeah, there were always a
couple.
There were always a couple going
Right.
at any given time, right? But not.
Now there's 20.
I mean, even just the big ones, right? Like we can go out and find 5 or 6 or 7 big MMOs with reasonable sized player bases, and if you tell somebody you're playing Guild Wars, or you tell somebody you're playing Elder Scrolls Online or something, it's not weird. You're not the weird rebel person who's playing City of Heroes when everybody's everybody in the world is playing WoW, right? I agree. I totally agree with you. I think the understanding that certain things appeal to people that aren't me is cool, and that's definitely something that I've softened on quite a bit. I was sort of thought that was true, and could see things from some other perspectives, like having grown up as a role player and then come into MMOs like through that channel rather than coming in from like a competitive gaming background or something, gave me a little bit of a different perspective, I think, to start. But definitely I understand why people want to just play WoW for like 5 or 10 hours a week, or 1 or 2 hours every other week, or 20 hours every week. I understand all of those things are perfectly legitimate and fine. And I actually, the more I play, the more I want a game where I can jump in my 2 or 3 hours a week and have a good time doing whatever I want, whether there's people I know on or not.
Yeah, it helps that we're all not trying to get everything out of the same game, because I think that way lies madness when you've got people with all different requirements for their MMOs who are all trying to agitate to get the developers' attention. That way, I think, lies conflict. And so now that there's a bunch of different MMOs, and we can be like, well, okay, LotRO, you guys can have RP parties, and WildStar can be more focused on, difficult group content or whatever, and we can all find the little things that make us happy.
I mean, I kind of wish that all those things were in the same game still, because I definitely missed the, everybody's playing the same game, so if you're playing a game and I want to play with you, I can just do it. And that's one of the things that I actually have really enjoyed recently about WildStar, is that a lot of people are playing it. It makes me a little sad because I never quite finished the stuff I wanted to do in WoW before everybody was like abandoned ship, but not terribly sad. And it's nice to have people, and I like that. I really like that WildStar has housing market for the housing for some people, and it has raids for some people, and supposedly the PvP is interesting. I have talking on my ass. I haven't done it at all, but some people are really enjoying the PvP, and then the questing I've found really fun. And so, despite its bugs and stuff, it definitely seems to at least have a base spread for a group of people, and I really appreciate that in my game, even if there are also niche MMOs for people that want the niche thing.
I know what you mean. It was fun when we were all in the same MMO. Like everybody played WoW. Who played
everybody?
MMO.
Yeah, and not just like our friends. Like I want to make new friends, right?
Right. Like everybody, and that was totally cool. I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen again, but it was cool, definitely.
Maybe it'll happen once Facebook Ulysses Rift comes out and makes all of the games into whatever Oasis or whatever it's called from Ready Player One.
I'll make a prediction. Pardo left Blizzard. Rob Pardo?
Rob?
Yeah. Okay, my bad. He's going to join Oculus.
Could be.
That's my bet. People are saying Riot. I'm saying Oculus.
Well, they're saying Riot because all the other Blizzard people have gone to Riot.
Well,
except for the people who left, 6 years ago, who went to Carbine.
Right. Well, there was the first group of people who went and left. Well, the very first people all went to Vanguard or whatever it was, and then there was the group that went to Carbine, and then there was and then there was a group of people that went to Riot. And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, that was an interesting deal. I don't know, we'll have to see. But I wanted to state that for the public internet so I can be mocked for it later.
You better write it down and put it in the show notes so we can search it, and then we should start an open Google Doc where people can put all of our predictions for we randomly throw out on the show. Yeah.
I don't think we should do that. No, I don't think that's a good idea at all. I'm going to predict that's not going to happen.
The link will be in the show notes.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that. So generally, it sounds like we've gotten a little more casual or accepting of casuality over the years. I still don't call me casual. I don't care if I only play a few hours a week and I'm not freaking casual.
But it kind of is.
No, it's not. No, the hardcore lives on in my heart.
That's fine. You can casually play something and approach it with, strong mental effort or whatever, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not even so much casual hardcore. It's the challenge. It's just so much that the casual hardcore debate gets mushed down to I don't want a challenge versus I do want a challenge and I want a challenge.
Sometimes I do not want a challenge though, so that's fine.
Well, now you're ruining gaming.
That's fine.
No, it's good.
I got he's on my shit list, so
That's
whatever.
Fine.
Diversity
I played a game this week that was totally not challenging, but was really, really good.
Was that a segue? Was that like?
That was totally a segue. Come on.
No, that was okay. Tell us more about this game, Ellie.
I played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Actually, on Friday. It's only about 3 hours or 3.5 hours long, and it should definitely not be called A Tale of Two Sons. It should be called A Tale of Two. Why the fuck? Why would that happen? It's.
I heard it was like Divorce Mario, but only for one person.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so from a control perspective, it could be like that. There was a couple of points where it was a little awkward. So, like, one stick controls the big brother and one stick controls the little brother, and then there's one button for the big brother to interact and one button for the little brother to interact, and basically those are the only 4 things that you have. So, like, it gets a little confusing, especially when, like, they're on the wrong side of the screen from your thumbs, and you're, like, trying to, like, hold down one and, like, alternate which one's happening and stuff like that. But it was only awkward in a couple of places, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But, like, the story, there's no actual words that are understandable. It's all gibber language. But it's, like, really depressing. It's like tug at your heartstrings the whole time. As an older brother, I've found it to be really sort of, I don't know, I kind of wanted to cry at the end. It was pretty brutal. So it's really good, and I recommend it if you are in a emotional state to deal with that kind of thing. But if you're not, stay away. And just trust me that it's good, and trust other people that it's good.
It's really good as long as you don't ever play it, ever.
Well, it's like when you watch like a depressing movie or something, right? Like if you know what you're getting into, it's fine. If you don't know what you're getting into and you're having a good day, you won't be having a good day at the end.
Yeah, I've heard it's really emotionally affecting.
Yeah, but it was super good and not hard because there's like a couple of puzzles, but the puzzles are pretty straightforward. Like I didn't really have any trouble figuring out what I was supposed to do. It's kind of a cinematic story, play along, wander through the thing, and it looks really pretty. So that was cool too.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're gonna play games.
I know.
That's apparently what we do here. What we also do here is wrap things up. Yeah?
No. You can't set yourself up like that, too.
I was playing, because then I could tell you I was playing Tetris, only it was badass because it was real Tetris.
Oh, man. Hacking Tetris.
Heck yeah.
Did you play the music in your head while you were putting all the boxes in the truck?
I actually did not have to put the boxes in the truck. We hired people for that because I was pretty sure that if we did not, we would end up with one of the children in the truck, and that's illegal.
And lots of broken things.
Yeah. But I did while I was sitting on my new front porch drinking beer, watching hot buff dudes carrying my heavy furniture. I was thinking Tetris really hard.
The Adventures in WildStar, the sim cores, they take sort of popular game ideas, like this one that's Oregon Trail, and there's one that's Tower Defense, and there's a MOBA like one. And we were saying there needs to be a Tetris adventure, and we're not quite sure how that would work out, but I really feel they should think about that.
Well, you could do it with having monsters that you had to hit from different angles to turn them, and then they just kept walking towards you, and then when they filled up a thing, a trap would go off and like destroy all of the monsters in that line, and then they'd all keep walking forward. You could do
Carbine, I hope you're listening. That sounds good. That sounds good.
It'd be, as long as it's not as shitty to control as that boss in Firelands with the legs. It's got to be a little.
Oh yeah.
Rylith. I think his name's Rylith.
Yeah, that guy with pugs was always really challenging. Wrong leg! Oh my god, can't you
That
tell
guy
me
was
that's
hard with an actual group of people and voice comms. I think by the time I got the pugs, it was like everybody go on one leg and spin him around in a circle the whole time. And hope that some asshole doesn't go on the other leg and put him in the water.
Oh, good times!
Fuck that entire raid, though.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Goddamn spiders.
That raid is part of the reason that I quit, but I still enjoyed it.
We just did the level 40 adventure in WildStar last night called Crime Lords, in which you and your 4 friends play a motorcycle gang in Thermok Hold, and you have to like menace other gangs and steal their stuff, and it's amazing.
See, that sounds
I'm pretty
awesome.
sure Ellie just flipped you off and is killing you with his mind.
Here, I'll do it on the camera, but I'm not going to put the thing to my camera.
Oh my god, that's on the internet now. That's out there.
I know, because I was
How dare you
fucking-
level, Lior? How dare you
I
play a game?
realized.
I
wasn't doing it until Arrow told me to do it. I'm trying to get back on her good side.
Arrow! oh, I see. Wait, now I'm the chopped liver? This shit
Yes,
is over.
because I have to be friends with Arrow because she'll be my level while we're leveling up.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. We'll just like be like the kids in middle school, the older kids. We'll hang out and smoke and insult you guys. Anyway, that is it for the show. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening. You can find us online at learblog.com/catcontextpodcast. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher. We're on Twitter at catcontacts. We actually people follow us on Twitter in the last couple of weeks. So
Nice.
I know. And yeah, that's about it. If you want to email us, you can with questions and whatever. We will do a terrible job of answering them. You can email us at podcast@learblog.com. We also have voicemail. Go to learblog.com and click on the little voicemail tab on the side of the page, and then you can leave us voicemail, and we will even play it. So there you go. That's it. Yeah,
We've had voicemail for like a year and a half.
we have.
Yeah, but I've never actually heard any of them.
We had like 3 voicemails over the course of doing the podcast.
Remember, we had one the other day in which we had to pretend for the live show that we were listening to it.
We had
Yeah,
one the other.
it's
Really?
Oh,
I like how you think I
Yeah.
can remember anything from the before
Oh
time.
boy! All right, we're
The
gonna go let
before
Arrow.
time, a long, long ago.
We're gonna go let Arrow find some more stuff in boxes, and we'll be back in 2 weeks. So until then, have fun and keep on playing. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.